hello, Nazu here. A bit hotter this time. Sorry for the 2 last weeks. I had a few things that happened. Me quitting school, me starting to try and look for a job. And yeah, so I really didn't have time to record anything. Like, seriously annoying. If you want to ask why I quit school, I tried to stay. I wanted to stay. I was annoyed at some things, but I was still going to stay. Until the teacher decided to tell me, oh, you weren't trying hard enough, so you'll have to do something that I cannot do. I cannot call someone for an extended period of time. I can answer a call and keep it on for an extended period of time, but I cannot call myself somewhere just to say, oh yeah, here's a massive amount of things I have to say. Which made me angry. Mostly the part where, oh, you didn't try hard enough. When I was trying, hell, I've been putting more into that than I ever did in school. And in school, I was trying like a fucking madman. I cannot do algebra, and yet I was still trying. And since that program wasn't specifically maths, French, English, and stuff like that, but other things like cleaning, cooking, other stuff like that to get a job, well, I was basically breaking my body, going way further than I fucking should, just to be told, oh, you weren't trying hard enough. So, yeah, I left school. If you want to tell me that it was a bad idea, tell me in the comments. I'm going to look at it anyway. I won't be mad at you. Obviously, not everyone passed through what I have. So, obviously, depending on who you are, you might have a different view of it. And I'll accept that. You can give me your opinion. I won't get mad at that. In fact, I prefer not to get mad at people's opinion if they actually try to understand. Sorry for that 3-minute rant. Anyway, welcome to part 1.5 of What If Deku wasn't had all of the gifts from Encanto. In the last part, I ended it early because it was cold, and I was basically at the moment where All Might, well, thanks to both Deku and Night Eye, understood that he needed to find someone quirkless. And so he went looking for a quirkless person, and even asked around for some of his friends and explained the problem. Obviously, only those that knew about One for All. So, yeah. That's going to happen. And so, let's go. We take back up in the entrance exam. Yeah, we won't see a training arc for the person I took. And oh yeah, it's a guy. I'm just saying. Because I kind of saw that I mostly give it to girls. Which then after either become Deku's girlfriend or a romantic interest. So yeah, changing it this time, it's going to be a guy. For his name, I haven't decided between, well, either well, first name Blaze, not having last name yet, or Zircon. Basically, depending on the name I choose, his parents are going to be different things in life. Basically, if it's Zircon, his parents are basically, what's it called? Basically, they love rock. So, gemstones and stuff like that, they love those, and basically named him Zircon. For the other one, it's for a different reason. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with Zircon, but not sure for now. So yeah, I'm going to go with Zircon. I'm not giving him a family name because literally I don't care enough. Not that I don't care enough about him, just that literally I'm just going to call him by his first name, and later on by his hero name only. Well, near only. So, yeah. Deku arrives at the UA entrance exam after, well, training for 10 months and seeing All Might for the first time. He didn't see All Might that often afterward, except on TV, which basically was, oh yeah, All Might is starting to work a lot more again. He's in the heat of the action. With him not disappearing anymore. Oh yeah, something I'm going to do in a few chapters later. Not chapter, but parts later. Don't know 2 or 3. But yeah, I'm going to do something that might make a few angry or make a few happy. But anyway. So, yeah, basically the only thing he knows is that, oh yeah, All Might seems to have gotten better. He might have eaten what I gave him. Basically, Deku, after, well, hearing his breathing being really bad, basically gave him something to heal him. It did, and now he's in top shape. Which, yeah, all for one will have a bad time when that time will come. Just saying. Oh, shoot. Well, not even against All Might, to be honest. Well, yes, against All Might, but weirdly. You're going to get it then. So, stay tuned for that one. But yeah, so Deku doesn't trip. Nobody does. So, Uraraka, Deku, whatever, they all just keep going, enter, and go do the tests. Deku... Oh. That was cold. And it's raining. Woohoo! Well, only some light drizzle, so it's going to be okay. Anyway, basically, after the written test, they go for President Mike explaining the robots. Only Ida basically talk about the 0-pointer. They leave. That's basically just the anime, but faster. So we get to in front of the doors and waiting for the countdown. Basically, we see every same face except one more for Bakugo's gate, which, put simply, Bakugo is a lot stronger. That guy is the one with One for All, so Zircon. And yeah, it basically becomes a competition between the two, from Bakugo having a lot more ability to handle his explosions, from Deku healing him most of the time when he was too injured, basically allowing Bakugo to go, well, way further than he should while training, while having no lasting effect, which is hilarious. And since Deku basically by this point has a, well, small bag on his back that literally always has food in it that he cooked, basically always things that could be eaten cold, he can basically just give it to someone at any point and heal them. So yeah, he was allowed to bring it in since it is quirk, though when he did put all of his quirks, they were surprised by the amount. So yeah, that happened. But we're mostly surprised because, oh yeah, sorry about that. If I cook food, I can heal people with that food, and myself. So basically, they see this, hear that his bag is full of food that he cooked himself, and they just kind of understand that, okay, yeah, he can heal people, or himself if he's injured. Yeah, bring it. Basically, it's not a weapon, and it kind of works for him, so they just accept. After, well, the countdown finished, though, for Deku's Gate, well, quite easily, Deku just kind of starts running. And obviously, if you think about it, super strength equals super speed. Instantly, because leg muscles. That's also boosted. You go fast! Sorry. It's just the amount of people I've heard talking like, oh yeah, super strength is awesome. You can lift stuff, you're extremely tough. I tried to say, oh yeah, and they're super fast, and people just look at me like, the hell are you talking about? The Hulk can run fast enough to literally pass a car easily. Not jump, run. So, yeah. But anyway, basically Deku kind of just speeds past people. Basically, they just see this pint-sized, All Might looking guy with green hair instead of yellow. Since Deku is like 10, 12 centimeters taller only. Like, he's 175 centimeters instead of his 160 something. So, he's a bit taller. But has a massive amount of muscle from him both training beforehand and even after getting his last gift, which is the super strength. So they kind of just see someone grab a robot and just kind of throw it hard enough to basically blow up 5 others. With Deku thinking to himself, strike, and just keeping going. People went as well. Oh yeah, also, Deku isn't faster than Ida in this one, unless he decides to actually jump or push himself towards somewhere at full strength. But he's still fast. Well, that's only if Ida goes full out, but you get what I mean. So, basically, they break robots, with Deku getting way more than anyone else. Thanks to his hearing, he basically hears when someone is hurt or starts to have trouble, and basically goes to them and give them food. which increases his hero points since he is helping people. Which, the first time Deku gave food to someone, Ida had seen it and was about to go reprimand him for doing something dumb until the person was basically back up. Keep that in mind. He saw it firsthand how good the healing is for something later. And basically, he kind of just shut himself up for that, since, okay, yeah, you can heal. I won't talk about that. And just kept going, thinking that Deku has, well, 2 quirks, not knowing he has 7, until basically one of the robots kind of attacks him, and Deku basically just kind of, well, gets a bit annoyed because it actually almost broke his bag. Basically making a small controlled, he himself was annoyed and basically got just mad enough from him being able to control his emotion way too much, and basically made a small thunderstorm that struck right on the robot, frying it. Basically starting to go again, and once again only using his super strength while using that. After, enough time has passed, they unleash the Zero Pointer. Deku thinks to himself he doesn't need to destroy it, until he hears the sound of falling rubble and the sound of someone being hurt. He turns around, sees Ochako, and basically just thinks, fuck, and basically starts running. Ida, in that moment, for some reason or another, basically just thought of himself as an idiot, because that thing will crush him with the girl. Like, not even thinking, shit, we need to save her, she's in trouble. Which is kind of what he did in the anime anyway, but still. Deku basically arrives, closer to her, grabs some food from his bag, basically kicks the rubble off, literally kicking it off, giving her the food and telling her to run after she eat it. Basically going straight for the robot right after. Which they basically see him body one of the wheels and starting to lift it. Making everyone around that just see a massive robot that would weigh hundreds of tons being lifted by this kid. Pushing it for it to fall on its back and basically just kind of starting to destroy it afterward. Scaring people at that point. Obviously, he wasn't mad or anything, so he didn't use his weather control, but anyway. Once that was over, the bell finally rang, and basically Recovery Girl entered, and just, after seeing Deku heal everyone, basically going straight to him and asking him if he is okay. And asking how good and basically commenting on how good his healing quirk is. With Deku kind of blushing a bit for literally having Recovery Girl, the recovery hero, compliment his quirk. Gift, but whatever. Basically saying thanks. She basically says that if he wants to help, he can come to the other, cities with her to basically, well, help those with worst injury not be in too bad of a, well, how do you say, condition afterward. Since when she heals someone, it takes the energy it would take to heal it out of the person. Obviously, it doesn't take as much, since Deku's broken arms would literally have shriveled him up when she healed him. Since healing a bone doesn't take only a few days. So, yeah. He basically went and helped. And they basically decided to give him a few more hero points, even though they kind of think he doesn't need them anyway. He left afterward, went back to his house, and All Might was basically aghast. Because when he saw the papers for Deku's quirks, and saw multiple of them, like, he thought there were only 3. But instead of that, he just sees super hearing, weather control through his emotions, his super strength. He can talk to animals, he can heal people, he can see the future, he can control plants, and if all that wasn't enough, well, you can just turn around. Give me a second. The other cars, I didn't pass them since there was only one, but now there's 5. Be right back. Sorry about that. Anyway, like I was saying, basically, after seeing all of that, as if it wasn't enough, turn around and just see shapeshifting. Like, oh, so not only can he beat someone to death, basically create any amount of tornadoes that he wants, hear someone scream from miles away, recreate entire forest if he wanted to, and more. He can also shapeshift. Basically, kind of like a perfect hero, you would think, since, oh, here are all of the different powers he has, and now think about what each of them could do alone, and then all of them together. There's not many spots where it wouldn't be good. Oh, come on. I know it's early. It's 8, but how many people are there? How many cars do you need? Sorry. Anyway, basically, All Might is happy that he found someone like that who actually wants to be a hero instead of a villain. He asked for, well, Deku's coordinates for where his house is, so basically the address and the spot, to actually ask if he could go give him the, well, letter in person, to also thank him for the injury. Basically, they want to tell All Might no, but Nezu still accepts, basically saying that, well, the kid doesn't need to know about All Might's secret. All Might is just going there to say, thank you for healing me, and here is your answer. So a few days later, they basically hear a knock at the door. Deku himself goes to answer, sees the small Might form. Basically, I think, if I remember correctly, I said that Deku had seen All Might de-transform. If he didn't, well, anyway, basically, All Might asks if he could come in. Deku basically says yes, but and Enko asks who he is, with All Might actually presenting himself as Toshinori, and then kind of saying that his hero name is All Might, and transforming, basically scaring Enko, before he says that thanks to her son, he can actually fight longer, as if he's back in his prime. Though he is weaker, but that's only because, oh god, nothing would be able to survive him if I didn't make him just better instead of fully prime mode. It is multiple years after he got the injuries, so his power did still diminish. So basically, he asks if they can sit down and talk, and he basically gives Deku the envelope for him to see that he's been accepted. Enko is happy, Deku knew it would happen, and then he sees the villain points and the hero points, with All Might saying that Deku broke All Might's record, with All Might literally having saved, well, I think he only had hero points, if I remember correctly, or mostly hero points and a small amount of villain points, or robot points, whatever. But Deku still got more than All Might only from the hero points, while also being massively... Sorry about that one, but basically having also a massive amount of points there from destroying robots. Basically, Deku's happy, not showing it that much because, well, he blocks his emotions unless he wants to show them and use the gift of weather control. But anyway, basically, All Might asks Deku, well, how his healing power works precisely. Basically then explaining what the injury was and how it happened. Making Enko understand that, oh, he literally healed All Might. Not just helped, literally made him be able to fight again. But yeah, basically Deku explains that as long as he cooks the food, it becomes with the ability to heal, well, nearly anything. Though lost limbs and such aren't actually healable, organs are kind of okay, depending on if they are still partially there or if you're dead. Because if you're dead, yeah, there's nothing healing that. Basically saying that to All Might. And All Might basically asked Deku if he was truly born with all those quirks. Basically, him knowing about All for One, and Deku kind of just thinking a bit. He didn't tell it to anyone else, but Enko basically saw Deku's face and asked if it was okay to say that. With Deku saying that, well, he told us the biggest secret there could be for the number one hero, so Enko just saying, well, they're your gifts. With All Might just thinking, gifts? Must be how they called his quirk just because of how they appeared. Basically seeing in his papers that, oh yeah, they appeared one by one after a certain age, with the last one basically skipping a year, and then them not sure if he's going to get more, which he won't. With the house actually telling him, kind of, that he won't get more, from him asking to the house. Is there more that's coming? Will they also skip years? With the house making a part of it, basically make the movement no. To tell Deku that no, that's all he's going to get. It cannot give him more. So, yeah. He basically asked if he gets kid, will they have some? With the house making a shake of yes. Yes, even if they have a quirk already. With the house once again shaking a yes. Basically telling Deku that, oh yeah, your family will get gifts as well. You won't get more, but others will get them. So, yeah. He won't say about that part, but basically he tells All Might that he won't get more gifts, and that they're not quirk. When All Might hears that, first thing that passes through his mind is, wait, they're not quirks? What does he mean? With Deku then asking the house to move, and basically starts explaining to All Might that the house is alive and has weird powers that actually allowed it to give him, gifts, which are every powers he has. Basically, the house doing a few movements, All Might being surprised, looking at Deku if he's joking and that, it's just another quirk that allows him to move the house. But he sees that he's 100% serious. And tells All Might that he doesn't have to believe him, but that he shouldn't miscalls those, unless they're at school. Basically that unless they're in public, yes, they should be called quirks, but not try to explain them as quirks. Which All Might decide to believe it, kind of, but not fully yet. So after that, few things happens. Basically, All Might leaving, saying thank you again to Deku, leaving, and a few days later getting to UA. He didn't tell him in person that he was going to be a teacher, since it's in the letter, I think, or it's already common knowledge, kind of. But yeah, so first day of UA, they arrive, and one thing changed. The small gray boy doesn't exist. Well, no, he exists, but he isn't in UA. Obviously, he is replaced with Zircon. So that's one of the things I'll never change, though. The minute that if I can change him, he will change. So basically, give me a second. Okay. Basically, All Might talk to Zircon about, Deku a few times before learning that they were gifts and not quirks. But basically telling Zircon that, this guy, basically not showing a picture, but saying the name at least, is someone strong. After basically learning that, there's a kid that literally flipped the robot. Well, yeah, that's the kid. Izuku Midoriya. Basically making Zircon know that, oh yeah, he's strong. Basically making, well, Zircon, the first time he sees Deku, basically the smaller All Might with green hairs, and basically asks him if he is Izuku Midoriya, and shakes his hand saying that, well, this is amazing, you must be really strong, right? Basically, well, for Zircon's personality, he's kind of a battle junkie, but he's also, well, prone to overthinking. Basically, think Izuku with a mix of Bakugo for the desire to battle, and you basically get him. He is intelligent, yes, and he was already a battle junkie before getting One For All, so he was already training beforehand. So it didn't take him as long to clean the beach, and got One For All 2 months earlier. He broke his arm a few times, but All Might had actually frozen the rest of, well, Deku's meal. So he was able to just kind of give pieces of that to heal him, to basically allow him to, well, learn to control it faster, and allowing him to get 2 things off the bat. A full cowling, kind of, where he only puts a certain amount of percentage, though he sometimes doesn't put it all around his body and only in one spot. But anyway, the other thing he already got is Black Whip, since he was able to break his body and heal it near instantly a few times, allowing him to actually strengthen his body faster than what Deku just did, which allowed him a higher level of One For All, and allowing him the use of Black Whip earlier. So he was basically a kid with 2 quirks, for what people knew, which made All Might look into it earlier for how all of the quirks of the users were, with once again some quirks not being totally known, and finding out faster, well, already knowing about it, and then seeing that, oh yeah, that user died of old age at 40, or something like that. Basically, the quirk destroying his body, and basically understanding that, oh, it was already there that it was happening. We just didn't know this. So, yeah, basically, Zircon already knows that, oh yeah, if you need a successor, take a quirkless person. Or at least hope for a quirkless person. So, after that happened, basically, at the UA entrance exam, he was using both Black Whip and One For All, which allowed him to get more points than Bakugo, but not enough to have All Might's record, which was then broken by Deku instead. And Zircon wasn't even mad, because, oh, this guy's stronger than me. I love it. Bakugo wasn't mad because he knew he would be at least 2nd place. And since he isn't a little bitch about anything anymore, well, he does still treat some people as extras, but it's more when they annoy him than just everyone. Well, he does still speak like that to everyone, I should say. It's just that now he does it more as a joke instead of really calling them names just to bully them. So, people presented themselves to Deku, the little behemoth, whatever, the fridge guy. Since he's literally built like a freaking fridge muscle. And basically, Deku started to hear, even with his earplugs, someone coming closer to the door and basically told everyone to go sit down. The way he said it basically had a commanding air to the voice, making everyone sit down near instantly, with Aizawa entering and seeing everyone ready. Basically looking at Deku and asking, and then just saying, well, that's fun. You're already sitting down. I don't have to scream at you. For the first period, you're going to go change and come meet me in the backyard. We're going to do some tests. Ochako trying to ask the same question as in the anime. Don't we have a meeting with everyone and, well, a presentation, I mean, or whatever? And basically, he just says that it's his class, it's his rule. And basically, he can do whatever he wants as long as they are in his class. So they kind of just do it. And then they go outside. I'm going to end it here. Sorry for a few parts where I just, well, the 3 minutes where I rambled at the start. But yeah, hope you liked it. In the next part, we're going to do the test with Aizawa, then go to the USJ, where a few things will happen, which I'm pretty sure a few people will find hilarious. So yeah, hope you liked it. Live a life if you did. Natsu, out.